Hello everyone. I hope you guys are doing great. I've missed you guys. I've missed crafting. I've just uh it's been a long couple of weeks. After I did my video that I was like, I'm back. Family member got very ill. And it was touch and go for a while, but thankfully he pulled through and he's on the mend, recovering. And that I have a move coming up, and with all that packing and trying to get things organized, I've just been a hot mess. So this card is for everyone who's going through a stressful time. um, I'm not doing any coloring today. I am not doing any stamping that I know of. Maybe one or two things, maybe. I'm just going to use paper and I'm going to use dyes. And I'm going to do my first score at 3 inches. And then my second score at 6 inches. And that's it. I'm going to fold this in half on that score line. I butt it up against the corner just to make sure I get it even, because sometimes you can try to score something and stuff shifts. So this will make sure I get it right. Okay, so let's get rid of that. And just like that. I'm not gonna score this one yet. I'm not gonna burnish it yet. Let's just leave it like that, because I'm going to cut it again. And I'm going to cut it at 6 inches. I'm going to open it up. Let's flatten this down so that I get a better cut. So we're going to line that up at 6. And we're just going to cut that. All right. Now we can burnish these things, and I'm gonna do the Z fold card or Z fold card, and a lot of people have seen this on Crafter's Companion or a lot of different other places. This is nothing new, but for those of you who haven't, and this is how it's done. So you basically took a 9 by 12 sheet of paper. You scored it at 3 inches and 6 inches. And then when you cut it at 6 inches, now you have a 6-inch square card. And then you flip this over, and this will become the other part of your Z fold card. See? Z. So that's how it goes. Okay, that's the first thing we're going to do. All right, now that we have that, we are going to use our red to use as panels on the back of this thing. So it's basically going to be a red, white, and silver card. Simple. I almost grabbed blue again, but I noticed I've been using blue again a lot. So we need to stop that. All right, so since my card base is 6-inch square, I'm going to cut it just a little bit smaller than 6 inches. Just because I like that little white trim on the edge. Alright. And we're going to do the same. We have one full 6-piece panel. So I'm going to cut that one out first. And that will go in here. Now you can always see if you want to add a little bit more. And I do. I like always to have that that little border. That white border looks so pretty. And I cut that all crooked. Now let's see. Yeah, that's more to my liking. So there's our first piece. And then this would go on top. And all we would have to do is figure out what color we're going to layer these guys in. Is it going to be red as well? Or are we going to use a different color? Which I don't think so. I just want to keep those three colors. So I'm not too sure how we're going to do this part yet, but we'll figure it out. But that's it so far. And now we're going to do the same with the other. We're going to cut this in half at 3 inches. Actually, I'm going to take off just a little bit again. I'm probably taking off like 1/8 of an inch. And we can measure that also. If we wanted a little bit more border, we can add that in. And again, I do. Let's see what side we're crooked on. All right, let's just do this. Just to make sure that we're even on each side. I cut it crooked from the beginning, so that was my fault. All right, so this will go here. And that looks pretty. I love that red. Now you can emboss these. Maybe we'll emboss one. Let's see. Yeah, I felt that shift. Let's go a little smaller. And let's make sure we're even. Yeah, okay. Let's see if it fits. And it does. I'm just going to trim off a little bit more. Just about 1/8 of an inch more. I really don't measure a lot, guys. I normally just, it'll be easier to measure, but I rarely do that. Okay. So that's cut. I haven't decided on the top part yet, so we'll figure that out as soon as we're done with this part of it. So we need to figure out if we're going to emboss these guys. And let's see. My thought was to go ahead and add a bunch of snowflakes to this card. And I think maybe with an embossed background, it's just going to be a little bit much. Let's let the snowflakes be the hero of the card. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this big one yet, but we will see. All right, I guess we could start gluing these down. Let's start with this panel. And carefully put it down. I use wet adhesive. You can use whatever adhesive you feel comfortable using. To me, wet adhesive just gives me a little more time to move things. Is it ever perfect? Absolutely not. I'm going to trim off another 1/8 of an inch off of here just so we can have a very nice flow, everything nice and even. Let's see now. Yeah, that's much better. And it's the right side. Okay, I don't want this guy to move, so I'm just gonna lift this up and add my glue to one side and then do the same to the other. I have the tendency to put things on crooked. Not so much that it is noticeable, but I notice it. So I end up making cards over and over again because, yeah, I don't learn my lesson. Okay, and now let's add our last panel. And we're just gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna line everything up and make sure that it looks good. All right, that's pretty good. Yeah, okay. So here we go. We have our card base ready. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and cut out a bunch of these snowflakes and we'll assemble it together. I don't know exactly how we're gonna do it yet, but we'll just cut up a bunch of pieces and see what looks best. And then we'll decide what we're going to do with this part, which will go here. Do we leave it red? Do we make it a different color? I don't know yet. So far, so good. I'll be right back. Okay, so I cut up all of my snowflakes and I cut them out in both white and silver. And I'm going to use the embossing folder that came in the Watercolor Christmas collection again. I used this once before, but I think I want to add texture to the front. So now we only have dies and an embossing folder being used to create this card. So I'm going to run this through. And this gives just a texture of little snowflakes. I'm not going to ink it. I'm not going to do any of that stuff to it. I'm just going to use it as is. I'll move this out the way. Okay, and then these are going to go here. Now, I cut it a little smaller because I wanted to take just a tad bit off of this piece. So I'm going to take, not a quarter, a little more than an eighth of an inch. So to make sure that it's straight. And it moved. No, it's fine. Okay. So now we have this, and we can always trim this out a little bit more if we want, just to have the same border all the way around. Now, the idea was, I'll trim that, but let me just use it for now, was to add one of these pieces here, and of course I'll trim this out to make it more even and cut out those pieces there. And then after putting that there, then we'll put our sentiment on top. You can use all different kind of colors. I'm just sticking to the red, white, and silver theme. So it'll look something like that. Let's see it. And then We could even bring this up a little bit and give it more of that red trim. This will be cut out, so it'll look good. And then for the inside of the card, I figure we could just put all snowflakes all around it, just in different places. And then this will go on top. Something like that. Or we can just do without this and do this. Which I'm kind of liking better. And then we can just glue some snowflakes around there too, which is a good option. We might go with that. And you can always layer some of these guys up if you want to do silver and white. And that will look pretty as well. Because I believe they made these to build them up. If you look at the, see they put 3 layers here. So it gives you an idea of what you could do with them, or you could just layer them separately. But I think this one would go nice layered. Okay, so we're gonna start gluing these things down. I'm gonna trim this one out, and I'm also gonna cut the second piece, and then we'll put it together. I'll be right back. Okay, we're gonna glue our little panels down. Let's make sure we have it right. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I got the glue working. And we're gonna just start laying these guys down. I did one of those things that when you glue it down and then you're like, wait a second, I want to start recording. All right, and now we're gonna put our last one here. Let me just see what side it goes. This way. I love that embossing folder that came with that set. They're so the snowflakes are so delicate and so cute. It just makes a nice background. Just didn't want it all over the card because it was going to be a bit much. Okay. And now we can glue this down. Oops. There we go. And now we have our Z-fold card, or Z-fold, however you want to pronounce it. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Are we going to go with this? And then add little snowflakes. We can do silver. We can do white. Or maybe do silver on this one. I think in this case, less is more. This might just be a little too much. And I do this with you guys like this because this is how we create. We just talk it out, right? Have a whole conversation. Or or do we like that better? You know what? Let me trim this out so we have a better visual. Let's put this in slowly. Okay. And we are good to go. All right, so this would go here if we decide to use it. And then our sentiment would go somewhere here. But again, I do still think that that's just a bit much. I'm not crazy about it, so I'm not going to use it. All right, let's glue our sentiment down. What we can do is cut a couple of more of these layers and make it pop up a little more. Okay. I have to get used to the camera angles again for now, because after I move, I don't know how it's going to be. Okay. So we have that. And now we can figure out where we're going to add all the little snowflakes. I think we're going to put one full one there. And then add some a little all over the place. Maybe there. Perhaps have this one and we could just cut it down. Put that somewhere else inside. We can do that. We just need to figure out exactly where we're going to lay out. I'm going to play with that so I don't waste too much of your time. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I've been tinkering with this thing. And I am going to add the big snowflakes to the center. So when it opens up, you see this big snowflake. Let's do that. Okay. This glue dries super fast. Okay, let's put enough glue to hold it in. Okay, not gonna worry about the excess glue right now. Just gonna worry more about getting this thing into the spot I want it in. Okay, we go back with our adhesive eraser and remove all that extra glue. And now I'm gonna do the same thing here. So now when you open it, you have this big snowflake there. And then these other guys, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut them up and glue them wherever I think they'll look best. So let's do a line here, and we could glue this guy right there. Okay, let's line it up and glue it down. And we can take a silver one and do the same thing here. Let's see, maybe right there. Let's cut these two off, and then we could glue that one down as well. It's a shame that we die cut them just to splice them all up. Okay. Let's put that one there. And we could cut this one in half. And just put some glue. And put this one right here. And it just starts coming together. And it's just one big happy card. So that would go there. Perhaps we will put a smaller snowflake. Maybe that one. Okay. And then we can add another silver one up to the top. Maybe there. And we're almost done with it. We can put this one on the side. This card should have been done faster. I'm just overthinking things today. So we have that one there. Right here, I'll leave it blank. I'll put a little square piece there for a sentiment. At least so we could write something in it. And then maybe add just a little something up top. There, maybe a little bit on the bottom. We haven't used this one at all, so Maybe we'll just do that one. No rhyme or reason, just, you know, add them wherever you want. Okay. And I think we're good with the snowflakes. So now we're just gonna glue out down our sentiment. Let's finish putting this little guy on. Okay. Let's put some glue on this one. You could pop it up if you want. I was going to do that, but you know, at this point, I'm just gonna glue it down. And then maybe add this little guy. And one more. Let's see which snowflake. I thought I had two of those. Okay, so maybe we'll just add this one to the top. Yeah, a little bit more. Okay, this is a little bit harder to adhere there since I have an embossing folder, but it's there. So here's our card. It pops up. Very pretty, all done with dies. And let's cut out the piece that'll go in that empty spot. So if it's 3 by 3, well, let's just cut this down first. So I'm going to do 2 3/4. That's how I'm going to cut it. There you go, just making sure everything is nice and even. And we should be good. So, actually still a little long. All right, let's cut it down a little more. Here we go. That should be better. Now we can just trim it down. And now you have a little spot to write your message. You could have also done on this side and put the snowflake here. That would have worked out well too. And if you wanted to, you could take one of the little Let It Snow stamps and put it here. And then you can add your message. And this is our card. That's what we got for you today. You can add gems to it. You put them all over the place. It's pretty busy, but it's effective, and it was done with just dies and an embossing folder. So if you struggle with coloring or stamping, this is an easy way to get a card done. Don't complicate it like I did. But there you go, guys. That's my card for today. I'm hoping to make a couple of more videos today and get things back on track until the move, that is. But we'll see how we do. All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye.